Meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission on March 7th, 2024 to order. First item here is roll call.
David Larson.
Present.
John Meyer.
Here.
Douglas Finscooter. Stephanie Garner. David Huser.
Here.
Kate Payne.
Here.
Kathy Olson. Here.
Perfect. So we'll start with approval of our agenda for tonight's meeting, March 7th, 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Motion carries. All right. Item D, approval of our last meeting, February 1st, 2024.
I would move the minutes be approved as presented.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, that motion carries as well. All right, so that gets us to regular business, which is reviewing a preliminary plat for Stone Meadows Addition. Paige, do you want to walk us through the agenda memo?
Just a quick rundown of it. Waverly Medical Park submitted a preliminary plat for what they're calling Stone Meadows Addition. The entire subdivision will be 58 residential lots that consist of single-family attached and detached. This development is located south of the Cedar River Parkway and east of Miller True Value. The addition's gonna have 2 access points from Cedar River Parkway, and then we'll also connect to Stone Lane from the south. The property is already zoned R2, which is appropriately zoned for this proposed development.
Okay. I know we had some email questions kind of back and forth. Appreciate those answers. That really took care of the questions that I had. I know Doug had some as well, and those were answered with him being absent. I'm sure that's covered in
Well, for the
everybody's notes.
sake of the public,
Sure.
do you want to review that? Some of those,
Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt.
one of them had to do with the location of a driveway. One had to do with the location of a, what do you call it, a power
The transformer box.
Yeah,
transformer
mine,
box.
for sure, yeah. So,
One of them had to do with load on utilities. Do you want to review those responses?
yeah, so let's start with the ones I had. Hang on, I gotta go to my phone, because it's easier.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I have a question, because I didn't follow up fully with the answers. Is the current entrance to the storefronts that are up there, does that entrance get vacated and closed? Okay.
Yep,
And
that's
his
gonna
one,
be,
yeah, and one of the
That was one of the
questions he
questions.
had was whether or not the curb is gonna be put back.
Yep,
And I think the answer to that was yes.
Okay.
Okay. But that driveway comes out.
yeah, so we'll just kind of run them down in order. So
Okay.
I think the first one was the curb for the existing drive on the Cedar River Parkway that goes to those businesses. That entrance is going to be vacated, and then the curb will be replaced, and that entrance moves further down the parkway. I guess I don't
Yep.
really know which way that was, kind of east?
East.
Yeah, it's east.
So that'll be replaced. The second question I had was a dimension between that private drive and the northeast corner of the Gemco Center property, the True Value property. And according to this, it maintains a 10.5 foot distance between the drive and the corner of the lot, which meets our code, so no question there. It's just kind of deceiving looking at the map, so I appreciate that clarity. And then I did notice there was a utility box of some sort on that corner, looks to be electric, but, so my question was, does that have any access easements, any sort of issues? And basically the answer here is that the development won't affect it. And then I was just curious, just from a public awareness, what happens, is this meeting our only way to notify the public? Since it's not a public hearing, because there's not a zoning change, and the basic answer is that this meeting is that. So there is no requirement to do anything differently for the
Well-
public hearing perspective.
Yeah, on that, there was a public hearing back in April when it was rezoned,
Right.
and this layout is the same. And all those property owners were notified of it at that time, so.
Yeah. So that answered that question. So then,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to Doug's.
Well, I can jump into that, I
Okay.
guess. Let me get to the answer section. Regrettably, bad night to read my glasses here.
You want mine?
I'll survive. So first question that Doug Benscooter had was about the easement between lots 16 and 17 in the layout. There's a sewer line that goes through there, and his concern was that being watched as the homes are built to make sure that that easement is maintained. And the answer from the city, of course, is that that is part of the process, and any building permits will make sure that easement is in place before structures are built or maintained, I guess would be a better way to put it. I'm just kind of highlighting through the answers here, so. And then there was a question of, regarding the density, a little bit about just the mechanicals, specifically the water, sanitary and storm sewer, et cetera, being reviewed from a capacity perspective. And the basic answer here is, it has been reviewed previously, these plans by the city. And then in the future, and as this develops, they'll be reviewed by separate engineering firms, is the basic way I would answer that. So that's the answer as it's given here. And then finally, basically, is there any availability for somebody from the development team to be on site at the meeting? And I assume we have that, so
Yes.
that was a question that was asked, so. Anyway, so for the benefit of the public, those are the questions that this commission had in advance from a couple of us, and the answers provided.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
No.
I didn't want to interrupt, I was trying.
I was just about ready to say something.
The lots that are on the west and then the lots along Cedar River Parkway are the ones that have two single-family houses that are built together.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So the dashed line means.
That's where they'll be
Got it.
attached.
Just want to be sure.
Is that easement for the sidewalk that they were gonna put down, has that been abandoned?
No.
So it's still there? Okay.
Yep, that's a 50-foot easement over there.
Yeah, because they were gonna bring a bike
Entrance or
path all the
access.
way down through there to the, actually to the soccer field, I think, at one time.
Oh.
But I just didn't know if that was ever abandoned. And then,
Which,
the length of
what
that.
what location are you referring to? You said there.
Along the south side of this property, there was, years ago, there was a easement for a bicycle path that goes along the south side there.
Is this the southwest side?
You talking
Along
about
Vista Circle, or where are you?
Well-
It was right along here.
Clear in the southeast corner.
Yeah.
Is that where you're talking about?
Well, it started clear back by Hy-Vee originally
Right.
and goes all the way down to,
Is that on the south side of Vista Circle and then on the south side of this development?
yeah.
So
And that's, I just didn't know if it
along-
was still there. That was originally, way back when, so.
Okay.
I just,
I don't recall seeing that one as I've been
Yeah.
looking at
yeah,
the,
Well,
so,
I can make a comment on that.
Yeah.
I was involved with Omni 2, and there was a lot of discussion about that, and it required to get some easement from the ledges in order to complete that.
Oh.
And,
now I know.
and they did not.
Yeah.
So the issue became, is this easement that's in the southwest corner going to provide enough connectivity, because you'll be able to come from, Vista Circle and Third up through the development to Cedar Parkway and over to the soccer field, that direction. I mean, that was the discussion that happened back then, and I'm glad to see that this is now happening, so we get that connectivity from the southwest corner up to Parkway. So,
I have two questions with that. If you go to the next page in the plat, at the very bottom of sheet 3,
yeah.
it says there's a 20-foot
what-
public access utility easement.
Well, but that's to get back to Omni 1.
First.
That doesn't continue to go to the east?
No.
Yeah, that,
And yeah,
and that was,
that's-
I forgot about it, was the Hopple situation back in there.
Yeah.
That's where, I couldn't remember what the whole story was, but, that's, you're right, John, thank you. But that was a big controversial
Yeah.
situation back in that time. The other thing, where are we at in length of cul-de-sacs? That's always come up. Is that,
The ordinance says 500, and this is less than that, so.
yeah, because it was shorter than that years ago, and I couldn't remember where it was, so it's,
And this is
I didn't go
3.
look it up, and,
3 something.
yeah, I didn't go look it up, but I was, that used to always be a problem that thanks, John.
One of the questions I had for Paige before the meeting was, now that we don't have an engineering department per se, that it's a consultant, asked her how the development team review of developments occurs with the Bolton and Menk consultant. Does he sit in on those meetings? Is he a part of it? Does this get forwarded to him for review? And she pointed out Justin McGlaughlin, the public works person, is the contact point between that consultant and the city. And I just kind of wanted to know how that worked with, the new arrangement. Because, that the engineering department used to have interaction with the DNR permits and for water, sewer, providing the information and all that kind of thing. The permit, I think, was always applied for and acquired by, or was applied for by the developer, but there's got to be some city interaction with that. Also, stormwater pollution prevention plan, reviewing that and how that gets done with the new arrangement with Bolton and Menk. That whole kind of envelope, how does that work? And was my question for Paige, and
Yep, so with that, as you mentioned, Justin is that contact point. Plans, anything we receive, we will send to Bolton and Mink. He's got a specific contact within the company. They review it on their own time. They are willing to come to any of our development teams. We might have a simple question for them, so it doesn't require them to be at our Thursday meetings. Otherwise, they're willing to come without any concern.
do we have a single contact person with
Yes.
Bolton and Mink? That
Yes.
it will be Waverly's primary all the time?
Yep.
Okay.
So the city has a contract now with them
Yes.
to just
Yes.
provide whatever services we ask on a piecemeal kind of project by project basis?
Having intimately reviewed the agreement,
Okay.
it's divided into two pieces. You've got a basic services, which is this kind of stuff,
Exactly.
estimated at 10 hours a week. And then there are other services which would be could be related to small projects. And that's open, and it's done by extra work order.
Okay.
The basic services are, like I said, estimated 10 hours a week at $100 an hour. The other would be at whatever their going charge rates are.
So does a developer, when they have those situations, do they have to go through the city to have contact, or how did they, it used to be, they just come in and talk with the engineers here, do they have to, the city has to put them in contact with them, or who's?
Well, I assume it's Paige and Justin that
Is
do
that how
the
it's gonna be,
interaction.
or? I mean, I'm just curious.
That's how I imagine it's
So
gonna be.
we have to let these developers know about it?
This will be kind of a travel run with
Yeah.
this one going through first.
Yeah.
But yes, that's
Okay.
what I imagine if it gets, and I mean, we've got, Dee and Adam are still on place. I know they don't answer all the questions, but they'll still be there for some items as well.
Okay. So, just looking at this again, kind of a simple question, if somebody knows the answer, great. So the sidewalk on that corner of Vista Circle, like who maintains that?
The city will be maintaining it, right? That's what we decided on,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's like city, up to
Cities.
the corner.
Up to the cul-de-sac?
Correct,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, cool. All right.
Is there any kind of a, I would say, curb cutout where that sidewalk comes to the cul-de-sac? It kind of dead ends into that sidewalk? I can imagine if anyone's coming on a bike, they probably want to go straight onto the road.
I'm sure it'll have ADA compliant transition.
Well, but there's no kind of curb cutout drawn in there. So I don't know that there would be.
So they'd have to cross at the intersection of the
The
Riverbend
expectation,
Road
I
and
think, would be that they would follow this, they would make that hard left up the sidewalk and be riding on the sidewalk until they got to a driveway and then into the road somewhere.
I'm not sure where you mean, Brian.
Right here.
So if I'm coming up from the southwest,
Be right
that
in
corner,
here.
that sidewalk, if I was on a bike, my goal would be to get onto the road rather than staying on the sidewalk the whole way up to Cedar River Parkway. So, I mean, I would try to figure out how to get from that sidewalk to the road. And you wouldn't go straight because there wouldn't be a curb cut out, you'd have to kind of dodge till the first
Right.
driveway, I assume. Okay.
It's only a 6-inch drop, you know.
Well, depends if I got my mountain bike or my road bike.
So you're just suggesting that the path perhaps should continue with concrete to the curb and have a
Cutout, yeah.
flared cutout, ADA compliant?
That would be my suggestion, yeah.
Well, and that's, whenever they bring final design, that's a comment that could certainly be had. I'd say it would be a good idea to put it in there, but, you know. I assume we have developer representatives here?
Yes.
Do they wish to say anything?
I unfortunately not seen it, I'm not sure where we're at. Kevin Fitro with Waverly Medical Park, and then I have our engineer with me, Nick Brewer.
It's right there. When you get off the bike path, off the sidewalk, off the cul-de-sac.
Oh, so you'd want another
Like 5 feet or something.
entrance there?
Yeah.
I mean, I can have Nick look at that, and, I mean, if we wanted to make a comment on it, I don't know how common it would be. We're looking at just bringing it straight into the cul-de-sac.
It would just be a pedestrian ramp, I mean.
Right.
I don't see any real problems with that, but typically you would have, ADA ramps would typically go somewhere, right? They would line up with it.
Can't hear.
I guess I don't see any problems with that, but typically, ADA ramps, they would line up with another
Another
ADA
sidewalk
ramp.
across the
Yeah,
street.
so it's kind of a
Right.
ramp to nowhere, but I can
Right.
understand the situation you're discussing too, so. And it's something we're open to, I don't see any.
And with the
Problem.
ADA compliance, are you able to have a ramp to nowhere? Do you have to have that?
That's a good question, but that's a good engineering question, and I don't,
Yeah, you typically wouldn't see that, so. yeah,
Right.
It'd be odd to
Because
have a
of-
ramp to nowhere, basically,
I
but.
bet you'd have to have
Well-
another one somewhere else.
Our intention would be for pedestrian traffic to remain pedestrian traffic and, roadway
Follow the
traffic to be
sidewalk.
roadway traffic, so, but yeah.
Yeah.
We can look.
It's more of a bicycle question than a
That's exactly what it
pedestrian
is,
question.
yes.
Yeah.
But I can really see a lot of bicyclists using that route.
Yeah.
but you can get off a bicycle and walk around the corner too.
Sure you can.
I would agree with Brian, because that's the original
Right.
bike path along the
The
south
southern
side
border,
there.
southern border, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get people down to and now it'll be baseball and soccer, so there's gonna be some traffic.
Yeah, the difficulty became is that when you get to the east side of First Street southwest, going through there and getting down, there's nothing on the other side except a big grass field.
Yeah, no, I know that came up in our discussion years ago.
That's kind of the,
And then plus that side hill right there where it goes across would be kind of, and then you get down below, then it's kind of a wet area down there too, where it gets to the soccer field.
yeah.
So I think this is much better in the long run.
Well, I guess we can also have our, but I would move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the preliminary plat for Stone Meadows to the city council.
Second.
All right, having the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Oh, all right, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Aye.
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 Have you done any geotechnical out there to find out where the rock is?
We have not, we haven't. Pretty shallow rock.
I did the construction observation of that sanitary sewer that's along Omni 1. They hadn't either, and they figured they could get it done in a week.
Put in an allowance.
They worked at it a long time. It was even discussed, can we blast?
All right, so back to the vote there. I heard people in favor. I want to ask, any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right. Seeing no staff updates,
I do have one, I
You do
didn't
have one.
write it down, I figured I'd just tell you guys.
Sure.
The introduction to the planning and zoning
Thanks, guys.
workshop. Thank you. Previously, I'd said the 25th in Decorah. I have a Board of Adjustment member that would prefer that Monday, the 22nd in Cedar Rapids. I had some things that evening, which is why I didn't choose that one, but I can probably rearrange if that works better for people. I just wanted to make sure if you guys are interested in one or the other. What do you think?
Well, I was going to say that I would be interested in the 25th one up in Decorah,
Okay.
but
What were the 2 dates again?
22nd in Cedar Rapids or 25th in Decorah.
and that's April.
Yes,
That's Monday, the 22nd, isn't it?
yes.
That would work better for me. But that's, I can probably make. That's the third Monday, isn't it?
It's the fourth Monday.
I think it's the fourth Monday because I think there's a council study session.
There's the
that
first,
evening.
the 15th, and the 22nd are the city council meetings.
And you don't have to tell me tonight. I just want to remind you guys to let me know if you're thinking about going, and I'll probably figure out what works for the majority and choose that one. A group can still go to the other one. They would just have to provide their own transportation.
And I'll probably be down in that area anyway, so I can I'll just have my own transportation. Because that's the fourth Monday, right, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
All right, anything else?
That's all I had.
Okay. I don't have any commission updates myself. Does anybody else on the commission have anything? Seeing none. All right.
How are we doing on the sign ordinance?
Not much.
I had,
As far as,
one of our old members of the P and Z asked me,
as far as getting old signs down,
yeah,
well, the Coonrot is down.
yeah. so-
Family Video has started switching.
Oh, did they?
Yep, Nagel Signs is doing it for them. They contacted me about a timeline to get that done. And the only other one I have contacted is Gades. They had somebody interested in potentially leasing the building, so we were gonna kind of wait and play it out till they leased the building. They put their own signs up. That just fell through, so now I need to contact them
There's
again.
one other one. Which one am I thinking? I can't remember now. There was an old member of the P and Z that said something to me.
Okay. Well, if you think of it, send it my way. And I'll contact them.
Well, good work if you've gotten that far along.
All right, we're to adjournment.
Okay.